Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato
Jayamudiraye
Krishnaya
Bhagavadreshu Nityam
Bhagavate Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti
Krishna
Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna. Om Nirvana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Hare Krishna. So welcome you all. So I thought today, Hare Krishna. So I thought I will discuss from 7th canto today. So 7th canto has the story of Prahlad Maharaj. And, so we'll discuss the story of Prahlad Maharaj, Narsingh Dev and Hiranyakashipu. So Narsingh Chaturdashi is coming on May 25th. So maybe we'll progress for some time till that point. So we'll start discussing 7th canto, some stories so that we can relate. Okay.
Thank you, Prabhu. It's needed for the time of our. Prabhuji, I also just want to give you one feedback, Prabhu, based on the people on the call. So is it possible for you to come closer to mic, Prabhu? Your voice looks little low for some audience. So if you can come closer to your mic, it will be helpful, Prabhu. It looks like your voice is feeble, but for me, I am okay. In general, I just want to let you know.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for that feedback.
Thank you.
So this is the pastime of Narsingh Dev Prahlad Maharaj that comes in 7th canto. So 7th canto contains 15 chapters. First 10 chapters has the description of the story of Narsingh Dev. The rest of the 5 chapters discusses about the Varnashrama systems. So we'll discuss first 10 chapters slowly one by one. So at the end of 6th canto at the end narrates a story of Diti and Indra, where Diti's son Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu both were killed by the Lord. So like that was to take revenge. Diti performed some austerity to kill Indra. So that story is narrated at the end of 6th canto. So hearing that at the starting of 7th canto, Parikshit asks a question to Shukadeva Goswami that it looks like the Lord Vishnu is generally considered to be equal to everyone. So and but looks like Lord took the side of Devatas and killed demons. So is this question is again coming? Is Lord partial or is he favoring? Is partial or impartial? So like that, Parikshit Maharaj gets his doubt and he asks this question. So and so Shukadeva Goswami. Then Parikshit also expresses his doubt why Lord cannot be partial, because he says that the Lord is like his body, like he himself is sufficient. He is reservoir of all pleasure, and he has a form of bliss. Like his form is we say na Satchidananda Vigraha. So then he by siding with some demigods or devatas, what will he derive? Like if someone has any need, then he will take shelter of some other person or take some sides. So, but Lord generally is complete in himself. He doesn't need any external help. So, what benefit he will gain by siding with devatas? And also, he does not have any fear of anyone. So he is supreme lord, he can control anyone and everyone. So he need not fear even asuras. So how can he become envious of asuras and siding with devatas? So this is my great doubt. Oh, Shukadeva Goswami, is Narayana partial or impartial? It has become a subject of great doubt. So therefore, please destroy this doubt with all the positive evidence that Narayana, and please prove that Narayana is equal to everyone, and he is neutral. So like that he puts a question. Now Shukadeva Goswami, he answers. He says that you have put a wonderful question. Uh, so Sukadeva Goswami, he starts answering that you have put wonderful question, and this question is answered by even Narada Muni also. Sorry, he initially gives some philosophy. Okay, okay. He first says that you have asked wonderful question, Sadhu Prishtam Mahabhaga, and because this question will lead to the glories of the Lord Hari, and this also leads to Bhagavata Mahatmyam. It also glorifies the devotees of the Lord, like Lord Prahlad. And Bhagavad Bhakti Vardhanam. It also increases the bhakti of all the people. So your question is glorious, like that he encourages. And even great sages like Narada Muni, they describe these discussions of the Lord, and therefore, by offering my obeisances to my Guru Vedavyas ji, I will start narrating. Okay, so like that he will start. First, he says that Lord Hari is Nirguna. Nirguna means he does not have any material qualities. He is Aja, he is unborn, and he is Avyakta, he is unmanifest, and is transcendental to all material nature. So, but still, he, by his spiritual potency, he enters into matter and he appears to act like a human being and can cause subordination or prominence of a guna. That means, generally, the Supreme Lord is beyond the three modes and he is like nirguna. So he does not have any like material qualities does not affect him, and he is beyond all this prakriti, but still he enters into this material world and he appears to act like a human being, but he is never a part of this world. But and he sometimes increases certain modes, and that prominence of gunas will increase. So basically, uh, uh, everything, everything in this world, they are being acted by three modes: sattva guna, rajo guna, tamo guna. So whenever some of these gunas becomes prominent, some of the people they will become prominent. Like when sattva guna flourishes, that time that sattva guna favors devatas and sages, and when rajoguna flourishes, it favors asuras. And tamoguna flourishes, then yakshas and rakshasas they will flourish. So so at particular times, some of the gunas will become prominent, and so and these will act. So basically these gunas are all inert, but Lord only maya dakshena prakriti suyate sacharacharam. Under the direction of the Lord, these gunas will act. So Lord is like the neutral personality who is watching, and these gunas will act on different people based on their karmas. So So different jivas, they are like compared to, like one analogy is given where like fire in wood. So different woods, they will have different kinds of fires. So some wood may have lot of fire, some would have less fire. And if that is burnt, based on the fire content, they will burn accordingly, right? So similarly, different modes will act in different persons in different ways. So that he says. And so basically Lord creates time, and that time activates this prakriti and jiva and prakriti will come together, and that under the instigation of time these two will come together. So when the time favors sattva, that time devatas will get favored, and when the time favors rajoguna, that time asuras will become flourished. So it's like it's like the Lord says in Bhagavad Gita, Samoham sarvabhuteshu name dveshyosti na priyaha ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya maite teshu na teshu chapyaham. Means he says that I am equal to everyone. So name dveshyosti na priyaha. There is no one who I hate, and there is no one that is dear to me. Means I am basically impartial. But he says that ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya. Those people who worship me with devotion, maite teshu chapyaham. They are with me and I am with them. That means I love them and they love me. So it is like a reciprocal. So sometimes it is mentioned that Lord is impartial. So that means he does not interfere with the karma of the living entities. Like living entities, different based on their past karma, they undergo suffering or they undergo enjoyment. So Lord is never interfere. He is like a judge. Judge, he only awards punishment or rewards based on one's past karma. Judge is not partial. But the Lord also says, Ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya maite teshu chapyaham. But whoever performs devotional service unto me, they are very dear to me and I am very dear to them. That means for them, the Lord shows favoritism. So, and he in 9th chapter only, he says that, Ananya cheta satatam yom, sorry, Ananyaschintayanto ye mam ये जनाः पर्युपासते तेषां नित्याभियुक्तानां योगक्षेमं वहाम्यहम्. So those people who always think of me, ananyas chintayanto mam ye janaः paryupasate tesham nitya abhiyuktanam. And like that, those who are daily, means continuously engaged in my devotional service, for them yoga kshemam vahamyaham. I take care of their needs or their yoga, their devotion. So it's like, so he is directly saying, whoever performs devotional service, I will take care of their yoga and kshema. So on one hand, he is impartial, means he does not show any favor to anyone. So in general, he is neutral. So for in general, for everyone in this world, the prakriti nature, there based on their karma, prakriti only awards its rewards, either good or bad. But whoever starts performing bhakti, they come under the influence of the Lord. So Lord will start taking care of taking care of them. So in that way, say Lord is impartially partial. That means there is no objection that who can render devotional service to the Lord. So it is said that numatra adhikarana means who can perform devotional service. If he is a just human being, he is eligible to perform devotional service. So devotional service is not limited to only certain castes or certain countries. So everyone can perform devotional service. There is no barricade to perform devotional service. So in that way, he is impartial, that anyone can perform devotional service. But once one starts performing the devotional service, the Lord says that Yoga Kshemam Vahamyam, I will take care of them. And like the more one surrenders, the more the Lord's hand can be seen. So even in Brahma Samhita, there one shloka comes like Estvendra Gopa Mata Estvendra Gopa Estvendra Gopa Matavendra Mahendra Karmani Niddahati Kintuja Bhakti Bhajam Govinda Madi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. The shloka says that Indra Gopa is a small insect and Indra is a king of the heaven. So from the Indra Gopa to Indra, everyone in this world is under the factor of karma. Bandhanurupa Falabhajanoti. So they enjoy their fruits of karma based on good or bad. But karmani niddahati kintuja bhakti bhajan. Those who starts performing devotional service, their karma starts reducing. So to that Govinda, I will start worshipping. Govinda Madi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. So like that, so it is mentioned that whoever performs devotional service, the Lord will become favorable to them. He is actually partial, Pakshapati, Bhakta Pakshapati, he will become. But anyone can become Bhaktas, so in that way he is impartial. So this is how devotees will resolve the question of partiality of the Lord, impartially partial. So here, Devatas and Devas, when the time favors Sattva Devatas will be favored. So that time, the Lord, as a maintainer of this world, he joins Devatas and he kills demons. So there is no partiality in regards to the Lord. So the Lord is acting according to the principle of Ye Yatamam Prapadyante Tam Sadeva Bhajamyaham. According to how one surrenders, I will reciprocate. Like that, that is explained. So then,
Prabhuji, Hare,
yes,
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Can you
yeah.
please give 1 minute or 2 minute summary? There are some people have joined late, little. So
Okay.
what is the topic we are discussing? Can we just once again reiterate?
Yes,
Prabhu?
sir. Welcome you all, first of all, for this discussion. So we are very happy that Bhagavatam we are discussing in the association of all the devotees. So we are planning to study the pastimes of Lord Dev, and mostly the Dev pastime is mostly the study of Prahlad Maharaj activities. So this comes in Bhagavatam 7th canto. So the around first 10 chapters discuss about these activities of Prahlad Maharaj and Dev. So to the prelude to that first chapter starts with a question of Parikshit Maharaj, whether Lord is partial or not, because it seems that Lord sided with the demons, sided with the devatas and killed the demons. So Parikshit Maharaj asked whether Lord is partial or not. So Shukadeva Goswami is answering that Lord is not partial. Only the three modes acts in this world, and whenever whichever mode prominent becomes prominent, the Lord supports that mode. And we also discussed the principle of Ye Yadamam Prapadyanti Tam Tadeva Bhajamyaham, where the Lord is said to be impartially partial. That means anyone can become devotee. So that is like impartial. It's no, there is no restriction. If one is a human being, he can become a devotee. So there is no restriction that one can only come from certain caste or nation or anything, gender or anything. So, but once one become devotee, the Lord starts reciprocating with that person according to their surrender. So in that way, he is partial also, Bhakta Priya. So he is Bhakta Pakshapati like that. So in that way, Lord is impartially partial. So that Shukadeva Goswami explains that whenever time factors enhances Sattva Devatas will be favored. So Lord supports them like that. And he further mentions now that the same question is being asked by Yudhishthir Maharaj also to Narada Muni uh, in the Rajasuya sacrifice. So as we some of you might aware, Rajasuya sacrifice is a sacrifice performed by Pandavas uh, to establish their sovereignty over the three worlds they perform this only to glorify Lord Krishna. So in that, the Agra Puja, the most celebrated person, is being worshipped. So that time Krishna is selected as the most worshipable person in that assembly by Pandavas and Bhishma and others. So he is worshipped there. He is worshipped there. And after the worship is done, Shishupala, who is like the envious person of the Lord, so Shishupala, he starts blaspheming the Lord. Like some people, like it says that Shishupala is so envious of the Lord Krishna that whenever he hears the topic of like he is from birth onwards, he hates Krishna, and wherever he get the opportunity, he blasphemes Krishna. So and in his childhood, like when he was born, it was mentioned that he has some defects, something like eyes doesn't open or something like that. Then Akashwani or some sage mentions to his parents, his mother, that whoever touches this child, and when these limbs, like when this defect is rectified, that person only will kill this person. So actually, Shishupal is cousin of Lord Krishna. So Lord Krishna touches this Shishupal that time, and his defect will be overcome. So that time, his mother understood that, oh, Krishna only will kill this person. That time, she asks a boon, oh, please don't kill Shishupala. Means please forgive his offenses whenever he does some mistake. Then Krishna says that, okay, when he blasphemes me, if he crosses 100 blasphemies, some number he says, and at a time, if he crosses that much blasphemy, then I will kill. Till that time, I will not kill. So Shishupal is such an envious fellow that he used to count. Like whenever he starts blaspheming Krishna, he used to count, and he just before reaching that number, he used to stop. So in order to save himself. But this time his envy grew to such an extent that Krishna is worshipped as the topmost person in the whole world. He forgot himself and started blaspheming the Lord like anything, and he crossed the limit. So that time Krishna released Sudarshan Chakra and he killed Shishupal. And in such a way that if any drop fell on the ground, that Rajasui sacrifice is said to be contaminated. So the Sudarshan Chakra operates in such a way that it evaporates all the blood. So not even a single drop falls on the ground. In that way, the yajna also becomes success. But the thing is that even though Shishupal is such a blasphemous person, like when he dies, his soul emerges, and everyone in that assembly could see that light of that soul, and that soul merges into the body of Lord Krishna. So everyone personally saw that Shishupal merging into Lord Krishna's body. Then everyone gets surprised. That means Shishupal got liberation. So Yudhishthir was especially surprised, and Narad Muni was present in that assembly. So he presents this doubt. How did this envious Shishupala he attained Vasudeva? So because we generally hear that whoever blasphemes the Lord, he will be uh, like his tongue should be cut off. So and we know that the history Vena story will come earlier in Bhagavatam, where it is said that Vena he blasphemed the Supreme Lord and he went to hell. So, so Yudhishthira Maharaj is now placing that how come Shishupal and Dantavakra, Damagosha, they blasphemed the Lord, but still they attained the Sayujya Mukti, and their tongues were not attacked with leprosy, and they did not go to hell. How this is like most surprising. because whoever hates the Lord, they should be punished. So how come they how come they got liberated? They entered into the body of Krishna, which is very difficult. So this is very wonderful. This matter is subject is very wonderful. So my intelligence could not understand this subject. So just please enlighten me. So like that, Yudhishthir Maharaj puts this question to uh, Yudhishthir Maharaj puts this question to Narada Muni. So actually, Acharyas here explains that actually Shishupal is the like even later also Narada Muni also explains Shishupal is the like previous lives he was only Hiranyakashipu, he was only Ravana, and now he took birth as a Shishupal. And previous to that, he was Jaya Vijay. So he was personal attendant of the Lord. So initially he merged into the Lord, but finally they attained the Samipya and Salokya Mukti. That means Samipya and Salokya Mukti means there are different kinds of liberation. Salokya, Sarishti, Samipya, Sarupya, Aikatvam Apyuta. Like that, 5 kinds of muktis are described in Bhagavatam. Salokya means living in the same planet as the Lord. Samipya means living close to the Lord. Sarishti means having the same appearances of the Lord. Uh, Salokya, Sarishti, Samipya, Sarupya. Sarupya means attaining the same form of the Lord. And Sayujya means attaining the merging with the impersonal light of the Lord. So it apparently seems that Shishupal merged into the body of Krishna, but later he attained Samipya and Salokya Muktis because he is ultimately personal servant of the Lord. He regained his own position. That's explained by Acharyas. So when Yudhishthir he puts this question, Narada starts answering. So Narada starts answering that, "O, O King, generally someone praises like blasphemy and praise, chastisement and respect. These are all one will experience because of ignorance. Okay, that means when one uh, when one is under the influence of material ego, that time someone praises or criticizes, he will feel, and someone chastises or gives respect, he experiences those things. So the because the body of the conditioned soul is like it is made through matter, he will definitely undergo these experiences. But but the Lord's body is completely different. So first he explains why one experiences friends and enemies, criticism and praise. That is, he says that because material conditioned souls, they have this bodily conception. They think that they are this body, they are this mind. So because of this false ego, they will consider someone as friends and enemies, and someone praises them, criticizes them, they will feel. But in case of the Lord doesn't have this duality. So the Lord's body is Sachidananda. He is beyond the material body. So he does not have the conception of I and mine. So he does not feel that someone criticizes him or someone offers praises. Then in one sense, there is no gain for the Lord. So and so whenever when he chastises the demons, someone he kills or someone, it's not that he is hating that person. That's why he is killing or putting him punishment. He is ultimately acting for their own good. And if he accepts prayers from some devotees, that is also only to favor those devotees. He accepts their prayers. That means he does not gain anything, or he does not lose, he does not fear any demon. So he is never neither affected by prayers nor by blasphemy. only it is for the benefit of the persons he acts. But someone may ask, oh, Lord does not feel anything, so what is wrong if I criticize the Lord? So the answer is that the Prabhupada they write that, but if someone criticizes the Lord, he generally generates bad karma. So because of that, he will go to hell. But if someone praises the Lord, he attracts the mercy of the Lord. So in that way, he will go back to Godhead. So in that way, the person who is offering prayer or person who is criticizing, he will receive. It doesn't affect the Lord. He, it's like even in Prahlad Maharaj prayers later, it is comes that when one decorates the body of the Lord in some deity temple or something, it is like decorating oneself and seeing in the mirror. That means if one decorates himself, the image in the mirror he is automatically decorated. Similarly, if one decorates the Lord or if one praises the Lord, that means that praise or the decoration of the Lord comes back to the devotee also. So like that. So if one offers praises to the Lord, that is for the benefit of the devotee. Lord in person may not gain anything, but out of mercy he accepts those prayers. So, and therefore, like whatever the act performed by the Lord is ultimately good. So someone needs to be in touch with the Lord. So therefore, Narada Muni he gives one nice principle here. Tasmad vairanu bandena nirvairena bhayena va snehat kamena vayunjat kadanchin nekshate pratak. So therefore, whenever the word tasmad comes, therefore, that means some conclusion is being drawn. So we should be careful. It is that tasmad vairanu bandena, by enmity or by constant enmity or nirvairena. Nirvairena means by devotion. Bhayenava or by fear. Snehat or by affection. Kamenava or by lust. One should concentrate on the Lord, and uh, one should concentrate on the Lord. Uh, in that way, he will not be affected by enmity or friendship, because the Lord is not affected by enmity or friendship. So, Narada Muni, the principle that he is saying is that somehow or other engage your mind. So, uh, by he says that if mind is absorbed in the Lord, even by enmity also, or by fear also, or by affection or lust, anyway, just put your mind on the Lord, and that ultimately will result in the good of the Lord. It will bring good. Okay, so this is the like principle this that highlights Narada Muni. We will discuss how even Vaira that will give liberation. So here Sishupala, he is Vaira, continuous enmity, continuous he is blaspheming the Lord. So because of that, his mind is so absorbed in Krishna that he wherever he goes with enmity is always thinking about the Lord. So in that way, is completely absorbed in Krishna. So uh, that is the nature of this enmity. In that way, he is affected, and he gives one nice example. Like different people, they are affected by different like all the gopis, Yashodamai, they all absorb their mind in Krishna. In that way, they are always thinking about the Krishna. So that is the principle that is mentioned, and one principle Narada Muni gives. So there is a one, like there is one example. He says that one insect is there, and one like a grass worm, that is like an insect. It was kept by a bee. Bee took that grass worm and put it in a hole. So this grass worm, it was always fearful of the bee and always thinking of that bee. So because of that constant thinking, even this grass worm changes into the shape of bee. So similarly, he says that if one constantly thinks of Lord Krishna, they will become free from all their sins, even though it is by enmity or by love, like that. So therefore he says that Gopyah kamat bhayat kamso veshat chaidyadiyo nupa sambandhat vrishneya snehat yuyam bhaktya vayam vibho. He says that gopis, they always think of the Lord due to kama, lust. So here lust means not the material lust. It is like in general kama. So it is desire, kind of desire. So it is in spiritual in nature. So in general, there is no word to describe that. That's why the word in general is used as kama. So, but it is in spiritual in nature. So gopya kama, bayad vesho, bayad kamso. So Kamsa is always fearful of Krishna. Like Kamsa it is foretold that Kamsa will be killed by eighth child of Devaki, and he came to know that Krishna is that eighth child. So he became so fearful that even in the night and the day, he always started thinking about Krishna only in fear. So in that way, he is completely absorbed, Kamsa. And Veshas Chaidyadyo, Sishupala and Dantavakra, they became absorbed in the Lord with envy. So, as discussed, Shishupal is with envy so much absorbed. And Sambandhat Vrishneya, like Yadus, because of the family relation, Yadus means all the Yadavas, relatives of the Lord, they are all, because of the relatives, they are always thinking of the Lord with so much family affection. And Snehat Yuyam, so you Pandavas, because of your affection, uh, because of your sneha, friendship and affection towards the Lord, you got absorbed in the Lord. And bhaktya vayam vibho, we in general devotees, Narada Muni is saying himself, we are absorbed in the Lord with devotional service. In this way, different people are absorbed in the Lord with different feelings. But the point Narada Muni is saying is, just whatever may be your feeling, just absorb your mind in Krishna. So Vrishnis, all the relatives are the Rajavasis. They thought that Krishna is their relative, their own friend, so they are all absorbed in the Lord. But the other people, Vena and other, they never thought of Krishna. So, and they criticized the Lord. Therefore, they he went to hell. He could not concentrate on the Lord with complete absorption. So therefore, he went to the hell. So, uh, and Acharyas here point out that yes, even one can go, like one can observe the Lord with the negative emotions also. But for us in general, because we are all trying to develop devotional service, so for us the positive mode, like as a devotees, we try to observe our mind in the Lord. So the definition of devotional service that is given by Rupa Goswami is Anya Abhilashita Shunyam Jnana Karmadi Anavritam Anukulyena Krishnanushilanam Bhaktir Uttama. Anya Abhilashita Shunyam, not having any other desires. Anya Jnana Karmadi Anavritam, not covered by Jnana or Karma. Anukulyena Krishnanushilanam, with Anukula. So one should cultivate devotional service to the Lord with the mood of favorable. So that word anukulyana indicates that one should not have negative mentality like these Kamsa and Shishupal had. Although they had that negative mentality, but still they're completely absorbed. They ultimately gained the favor of the Lord. But still, the for us devotees, it is always suggested that one should cultivate favorably. Anukulyana Krishnanushilanam Bhaktir Uttama. So one should cultivate relationship with the Lord favorably. So Narada Muni is mentioning all these things in this mood is the intensity of the absorption. He further says that even I feel that even the devotees may not have that much absorption as these demons have. So like that he expresses. So basically he's appreciating the intensity of this absorption of these demons. So they are completely with intensely they are attached to the Lord. So Narada Muni is actually desiring that much intense desire to absorb in the Lord. So, and then Narada Muni starts narrating the background of these Shishupal and Dantavakra, who are also cousins to Pandavas. He says that uh, Shishupal and Dantavakra, they are actually previously they are associates of Lord Vishnu, and they are cursed by Brahmanas, and therefore they fell from Vaikuntha to this material world. So like that he mentioned, and then Yudhishthira asks, "Oh, what like these two are Vishnu Bhaktas and who are uh, eternal associates of the Lord. So what sort of curse can cause them to descend into this material bodies? So this is like very surprising. Can you please mention?" So then he narrates the story. So actually, the story will come more uh, in more detail in third canto. So maybe sometime when we discuss that, we will go into those details. It is very elaborately explained in 3-4 chapters, 2-3 chapters, how uh, they were cursed. So four Kumaras, Sanak, Sanatana, these four Kumaras, they are all Manasaputras of Lord Brahma. Like they are the first people to be born from Brahma, but they never go beyond 4 to 5 years age. So they didn't grow. So they appear very small. So once they are going to Vishnu Loka, so and they are entering Vishnu Loka, and Jay and Vijay, they are the doorkeepers there. So they thought that these were some ordinary people who are trying to enter into Vaikuntha, so they kind of stopped them or put some obstruction. So therefore, these Kumaras they thought that how these two doorkeepers they are behaving in an inimical way, even though they are residing in Vaikuntha. So these people have inimical attitude. Therefore, we curse them uh, uh, to come to this material world. So then they were Jay and Vijay are very much devoted to the Lord. They don't want to miss the association of the Lord. So they pray to the Lord, and Lord also comes. Then it was decided that for 3 lifetimes they will become enemies of the Lord, and then they will again come back to the Vaikuntha. So in that way, they come to this material world. So and that pastime of how in the first lifetime they were born to Diti and Kashyapa. Okay, so Kashyap Muni and Diti is the from Diti all the Daityas came. So Kashyap Muni and Diti first were born Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. So Hiranyaksha was killed by Varahadev. This pastime is narrated in third canto. And Hiranyakashipu, he was killed by Narsimhadev. So that pastime will come in this canto. So after that, Hiranyakashipu, that he Narada Muni at this point of time, he also narrates that Hiranyakashipu tried to kill his son Prahlad in many ways, but he failed. So like that he mentions. So hearing this letter, Yudhishthira Maharaj asks, how a father uh, is trying to kill his own son, like that he asks. So that Narad Muni mentions here. And then in the next lifetime, they were born as Jai and Vijay. Sorry, they were born as Ravana and Kumbhakarna. So they were killed by Ram. This we know the first time last. Ram killed both Ravana and Kumbhakarna. And then now they were born as Shishupala and Dantavakra. And the Shishupala is killed now, and Dantavakra will be killed in the future. Like that, Narada mentions. So these two, so these two associates, they always maintained that feeling of enmity. and but still they are always thinking of Krishna. So therefore again they return to the Lord. So like that he summarizes. Then Yudhishthir Maharaj asks here question. So he says that how there is a great enmity between a father and son, like why Hiranyakashipu hated Prahlad so much. Prahlad is said to be having so many good qualities. So how why Hiranyakashipu hated him, and how Prahlad became a great devotee. So it is surprising. So therefore, please narrate all this to me. So like that he puts this question. So that it will be answered in the next coming chapters. So this is the first chapter. So if anyone wants to add or some questions, please discuss anything.
Yeah, Prabhuji, I have a couple of questions.
Yes, bro.
Okay, so does Lord like prefer Sattvaguna to Rajoguna and Tamoguna?
Yes, in general, like Sattvaguna is like said to be the, like for an airplane to ascend, it needs a platform to ascend. So in general, Sattvaguna is like a platform where one can easily launch his plane. So therefore, Sattvaguna is recommended, but that doesn't mean that like other modes, like sorry, in terms of devotional service, anyone in any modes, whoever is in any mode, they can start performing devotional service, and that devotional service will take them to the other modes. But in general, uh, one can uh, one can suppress rajogun and tamogun by sattvagun, and then one can like that will help him come to the transcendental modes. So yeah, so Lord therefore little bit supports sattva, but in general he advises to even go beyond sattva also, because in Bhagavad Gita it is mentioned that uh, sattva also binds. It binds to happiness and knowledge. So that is also kind of binding, because but Lord wants everyone to uh, like favorably do devotional service to him. So if this happiness and knowledge is kind of inhibit them to perform devotional service, these are also obstacles. So in that way, that may become obstacle. Therefore, but in general, it is like favorable for devotional service.
Okay, so the second question I have is, so yeah, like Lord gave moksha to like both the people who devotes him, like gopis and pandavas, as well as the people like who cursed him, like Sisupala. But the way he gave the freedom, like, is by killing Sisupala, but for Pandavas and others, he did not kill them. So why there is a
Yeah.
difference in the way of like giving them the moksha?
Yeah. Yeah, even so, apparently they got liberated, but there are also even in giving liberation also there are variations. So although they are favored, they are not shown as the same favor as the other devotees, like gopis, Pandavas. They are they are literally serving the Lord. But in general, the demons who are all killed by the Lord, they attain Sayujya Mukti. That means they just merge into the body impersonal race of the Lord, where there is no opportunity to perform devotional service. So that is a kind of inferior mukti, you can say. So it's not that, although they got liberation, it's not that everyone attained the same kind of position even after revelation. So there is that maintenance of distinction is there, but still, since they are attached their mind to the Lord, so they got that benefit of liberation. So yeah, even in, so that same applied to even killing also. That killing is like the final purification, and they uh, so it is not that that principle of yeyatamam prapadyante that always works.
No, like, I will be done.
Space.
Okay, yeah. Thank you, Prabhuji.
That is done.
That is done.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram.
Okay.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu.
So thank you for a wonderful class, Prabhuji. I mean, we understood by any means and by any which means we have to focus our mind on Supreme Personality of Godhead. In these difficult times, mind is having so many foods to ponder upon. And yeah, I mean, maybe not many of them are useful. It's better for us to focus on what we can do. And that's absolutely Supreme Personality of Godhead, it looks like. And by the way, Prabhu, today's class was very baffling. At the same time, I need to say, so like we are saying, Lord is spiritual, right? And Lord is absolute personality. And he is not bothered by your blasphemies. At the same time, he is not bothered by your, he is not bothered by your worship. Is what the point we read, right, Prabhuji? So what our entire movement, if you see, right, our bhakti movement is basically depends on the sound vibration. So we don't have access to Lord's personal feature at this point. What we have access is only sound vibration or the Lord's form in the form of sound vibration. So we depend on different mantras, we depend on different thoughts, names to show our love to Lord. Right? And of course, the deity form is there, but I'm saying this is one of the easiest method to access the Lord. And the moment we say the Lord does not differentiate, is that not causing a kind of disturbance in devotee's mind? And how should he take it up? And how should he still continues to have the faith on the Lord's holy name? I understand Narada Muni explained this is the easiest part. You take a Vaidhi Bhakti. But my question is, if Lord does not differentiate blasphemies and your worship, how should a sadhaka continues to have the strongest faith on the holy name of the Lord? Can you kindly elaborate, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhu. So Lord does see, in one sense, like Lord, it is mentioned that Lord does not gain by someone's praise, and Lord does not does not feel depressed or does not lose someone by someone's blasphemy. It is that person. But on the other hand, there are this is like one kind of aspect, but other kind of aspect is Lord is a person. So, and if someone prays, so this is mentioned just to show that Lord is spiritual, and it's like he's kind of only that person will get affected by that. Lord will not get affected. But on the other hand, it is also mentioned that if someone praises the Lord, and Lord also feels happy, and someone blasphemes the Lord also feels little sad because this living entity is behaving like this. So this is mentioned even in Varahadev Pashtayam that when Hiranyaksha, he was blaspheming the Lord, he felt like that. And so Lord is a person, so he reciprocates according to the feelings. So he also feels, it's not the absolute statement that he does not feel like that. Like in spiritual level, like he also hankers for the love of the devotees. So in that way, when we chant or when sound vibration, so when we approach favorably to the Lord also favorably approaches us. He has a feeling as a person. The Lord's holy name is also a person, and it reciprocates based on our approach. And it also feels happiness when we favorably approach. Thank you for clarifying that matter. So it's not an absolute statement. Like on one sense, he does not get affected being spiritual, but on the other hand, also like being a spiritual person, if someone praises him because that will benefit the living entity, he will feel happy. And if someone blasphemes, he thinks that that living entity will suffer like that. He also feels bad like that. Yes, bro. Hare Krishna. Is it okay, bro? Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Yes, that answers my question, Prabhuji. Do we have a couple more minutes, Prabhuji? I have one more follow-up question. Hello.
Yeah, yes, bro, please. Yes, bro.
Yeah, Prabhuji, I mean,
Please,
I
bro.
just wanted to know, is the adhikara of attaining the Lord, in this case of Shishupala and Dantavakra, is it just they were constantly remembering Lord, even though it was from enmity point of view, they were constantly remembering the Lord. Is that benefited? Is that the only reason they got the liberation and attained the Lord? Or is it also their previous associate? I mean, is it something else they have done in their previous lives? I mean, I just wanted to know, even though they are in enmity in this lifetime, if they are constantly remembering, that alone, that activity alone, did
it is mentioned that activity alone got them liberation, because their mind is completely absorbed in Krishna. So that is the point that is being made. Their mind is absorbed, because of that they got that benefit. But because they are like eternal associates, they could have that much enmity. In general, that much enmity also no one can practice in general. So
understood. But Kamsha is also
he also got benefited.
Had any background, Prabhuji, or only through this enmity, this lifetime, like a Jaya Vijaya, did Kamsa had any pastime?
Kamsa previous life is known, Kalanemi. There also he was killed by Vishnu. So previous to that, there is no history, I think. So yeah, only that much is mentioned, because he is always completely fearful. He got benefited.
So even if there is some confusion in Shishupala and Dantavakra's pastime, for Kamsa's pastime, we can say the complete absorption in enmity got him. Thank you for clarifying that. Thank you,
Sumanta Prabhu, are you there? Hare Krishna. Okay. Sumanta Prabhu is like last time also.
I have one question.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, I'm there. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for joining. I would like just introduce to others you. Sumanta Prabhu is like Dean of our Bhaktivedanta Research Center. He is staying in Mumbai and he is supporting. He is just kindly, I just mentioned that I'm taking weekly classes and he is joined here. Thank you, Prabhu.
Yes, actually, just to
here
tell you all,
I have my IASC. Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, why I was
Bhanu
so much
Prabhu
inspired
here, he is
yes.
Yes.
So
I just introducing Bhanu
yeah,
Prabhu
please,
here.
I would like to
know
get
him
introduced
here.
with them.
Yeah, he is my IASC friend, and he is very close, like very known to even Gaurang Prabhu also. So he stays in Chennai currently.
Nice.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Well, thank you for joining.
Yes. Thank you, Prabhu, for taking me in this program, because I have attended one full 1 month program from Gaurnam Prabhu on Bhagavatam, and I was so much inspired after his class that I told him, whenever you take next time, please include me.
Hari Bol, thank you for that. Certificate. We know we hear from Gaurang Prabhu. Thank you, Gaurnam Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay, Prabhu, we'll continue Nursing Dev Katha from next week onwards. Kirandra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
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 Srila Prabhupada ki
Yeah.
Jai.
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 Thank you all for joining. Thank you. Hare Krishna.